Hello, it's John again. I know it has been a while. Please forgive me for how long it's taken me to make another video. I do want to thank everyone for the inquiries into how I was doing. I've been doing okay, fighting, still fighting. I want to thank everybody that's going along with me on this journey. I know that a lot of you can relate to the struggles that I've been feeling, and that it does help me to talk with some of you that are going through the same things. And I hope I'm able to help you out as well by sharing some of the things that I've gone through personally. In the last year, it has been a time of adjustment. There's been a lot of changes to me over the last year, changes that I would say were physically, of course, but also emotionally and spiritually. So that's why I thought the title, Letting Go of the Old You, that was a fitting title to this section. Now, to give you an update of what's going on here with me physically, things have changed. I am beyond weak physically, so much so that I can't even really describe it, how weak I am. And walking, I am fortunate if I make it 50 yards, and occasionally I can make it further than that. But if I'm going much further than that, I have to use a walker. There's no getting around it. And if it's even really longer than that, it needs to be a wheelchair. Now I still go without using an assistive device in short distances, like say into like convenience store to grab milk or something like that. I won't use a cane, and I know that leaves me open to falling. But I'm still a young guy. I can handle a fall. Tom Brady's 1 year older than me, and he's getting slammed in the NFL by 350-pound linemen, and he still gets back up. So, that's kind of how I feel about it. I can still get back up. I try not to use an assistive device unless I absolutely have to. Um, Now, I don't fully understand what is going on with my muscles when I walk. It's just like they completely stop functioning after a little bit, like an engine running without oil. You know how that would seize up? That's actually what happens with my legs. And if it were just pain or just weakness, I really feel that I could push through that. But it's when they totally stop completely functioning, they won't move anymore. How can you fight that? There's no way. There's no way. So now I've done a lot of research into what is going on with our bodies when it comes to MS and how things can be affected. And I especially wanted to know why I feel so tired all the time. I mean, it's constantly like I've just drove 12 hours, and if you've ever done that, drove a really long time, and you're getting to the point where you're driving, and you can hardly stay awake anymore, and you're just fighting it. I mean, that's how we feel all the time, and I just didn't understand that. I wanted to know why I feel so tired. So, the more I researched about um, the nervous system controls everything in your body. So you're talking about your circulatory system, getting blood to your various muscles and oxygen and all that. You're talking about your digestive system. Your digestive system has actually a huge nervous system itself, but it needs to communicate with your brain to function correctly. So anytime that's interrupted, your digestive system can get messed up. Your respiratory system, and even your endocrine system. And that's what I want to talk about more than anything is the endocrine system, because that's what I was most curious about. Um, your endocrine system produces chemicals that your body uses, from hormones like adrenaline, testosterone, estrogen, and insulin, to neurotransmitters in the brain like serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. I mean, all kinds of things. I could list hundreds of these things that these things produce, that your glands produce, and it's extremely complex system. And from what I gather, science has been able to determine a little bit about what these different hormones and neurotransmitters do, but they have no idea why they do what they do, or how they do what they do. Um, oh, by the way, anybody that studies this stuff, and still thinks that it wasn't designed by an intelligent creator, I am flabbergasted at that. I truly don't understand that line of reasoning. Um, but if the communication between our brain and our glands is corrupted in some way, if it, if we're not getting the right kind of hormones and neurotransmitters produced, or if they're not getting to the places they need to be in order to receive signals and information, it can cause all sorts of problems. And really, the main problem that it causes is, guess what? Fatigue. It's kind of just like a computer that gets bogged down. If the communication between its central processing unit and the other parts of its hardware is corrupted, it'll bog down. It won't function right. So that is why it I think we feel so fatigued, is we just are not getting the right hormones and neurotransmitters, and also that, along with circulatory system not getting oxygen to our muscles. I think that has a lot to do with it too. So that's my theory on why we're tired all the time. Now on to what I mean about letting go of the old you. Well, simply put, we aren't able to do the things we used to enjoy, the things that we placed value in our lives on. Things like a career. Sometimes MS will take that away completely. Things that we found fun to do, things that we enjoyed. Whatever it was that we were dedicating our time and energy to, MS can take that away. And because of this, a lot of people that suffer with this disease, they fall into a pit of despair. And we all kind of end up feeling a little useless, like a burden on society. But that can lead to a cycle of depression that people never get out of. And from what I've talked to people, they're grieving over the loss of the old person that they used to be. But what I'm telling you is that letting go of the old you, it doesn't necessarily have to be such a bad thing completely. Because MS has really forced me to concentrate on things that are truly important in life. And the things that are truly important are sometimes hid behind this illusion of what the world presents to you as truly important, or things to go after. The world tells you that the pursuit of money and possessions is the thing that that's what will make you happy. It also presents the pursuits of pleasure and lust and sex and greed and power and fame, that all those things are what you should really be trying to attain to become happy. But really, when it comes down to it, those things can actually ruin a person's life. Those things can actually make a person very, very unhappy and can cause all sorts of problems. Now, MS can sometimes take those things away from you. And in a way, that can be a little bit of a blessing, because there are things that are basically temptations that are taken away from you. And then it actually makes you focus on what is most important, and that is our relationships. And it's relationships in our life that are built around love. And I'm not talking about romance. I'm talking about love for family, for our friends, for even for strangers. But what I've found most important in my life is developing a relationship with the person that I think designed what I was talking about before, with our Creator. That kind of relationship, if you have a loving relationship there, I'm telling you, it will help you deal with what's going on. So, if relationships are the most important things in our lives, we have to remember that MS, it can't take away the love that we have inside of us that we have for other people, and it can't take away God's love that He has for us. So, if you do show love for others, and basically, you have to show it. You have to do things and say things and try to focus on that person. And by focusing on that person, it takes the focus off yourself. Um, and I've experienced this to a degree anyway. Don't get me wrong, guys. I still do get down and depressed and frustrated because of what I'm going through. But I try not that to be the thing that dominates my thinking all the time. I really want my dominant mental attitude to be about other people and how I can help other people and how I can become closer to our Creator. And in that way, it helps me not think about my problems so much. It helps me not to focus on that making that being the focus of my life, because man, that's miserable. It's miserable to think about that stuff all the time. Now, I spend a lot of time meditating about my Creator and studying the Bible and learning about Him. And that includes learning about why He is allowing me and all of the other people suffer with this disease. And not just us. I mean, there's suffering on the world that is far more than what I'm going through. So why does He allow that to happen? And I'm telling you, there is great peace of mind in knowing the answer to that question. There is also peace of mind in knowing what is going on in the world today, why it's going on in the world today, and what's in store for the future, especially when that future includes a world that is without suffering. That provides a great amount of hope. So I want to talk more about this in other videos, and I hope people will watch them and have respect for my views. In the meantime, if you want to check out exactly what my hope is, you can always go to jw.org. You can get all the information you want there, and it'll explain my hope, and it presents it in a very logical way. So until next time, folks, keep hanging in there, keep fighting. I will too.